If you've been dreaming of moving to Italy, but you thought it was out of reach, this video might just change your mind. I've spent the last few weeks exploring towns across the country, where you can still buy homes for under 45,000 euros. And I'm not talking about ruins. I'm talking about solid properties in peaceful, beautiful communities where life is still affordable, people are welcoming, and quality of life is something you can actually feel. Before we dive into the 5 villages I've chosen for today's video, I want to give you 5 quick reasons why moving to Italy might be one of the best decisions you'll ever make. First, the diversity of landscapes is unmatched. Whether you're looking for a coastal view, a mountain backdrop, or the rolling green hills of the countryside, you'll find it here, often all within a few hours' drive. Distances are short, especially if you're coming from places like the US or Canada, where driving 5 hours just gets you to another city. In Italy, 5 hours gets you from the Alps to the beach, or from vineyards to Renaissance cities. Second, residency. Italy offers realistic pathways to long-term or permanent residence for expats, including options for retirees, digital nomads, and even property buyers. If you're seriously considering a move, this is a country where it's actually doable, not just a fantasy. Third, the cultural and historical heritage here isn't just something you visit on weekends, it's part of daily life. You'll find yourself walking past medieval walls to do your grocery shopping, or sipping espresso in a piazza that hasn't changed in 400 years. It's not a museum, it's real life, and it's quietly spectacular. Fourth, prices. Italian real estate is still shockingly affordable in many rural areas and smaller towns. And more than that, properties here have steadily appreciated in value, especially over the past 3 years, as more and more buyers from abroad begin to notice what locals have always known: tea. There's gold in the quiet corners of this country. And fifth, the cost of living. As of March 2025, a single person can live modestly in Italy for between 850 and 1,200 euros per month, depending on the region. For a family of 3 to live comfortably, with rent or mortgage, utilities, groceries, healthcare, dining out, entertainment, and the occasional weekend trip, you're looking at around 2,200 to 2,600 euros per month. In many places, it's even less. Healthcare is high quality and public, education is accessible, and food, well, we don't need to talk about the food, do we? So, in this video, I'll walk you through 5 small Italian towns where properties are still priced in that sweet spot, below 45,000 euros, and I'll show you real listings that are on the market right now. We'll explore the atmosphere, the lifestyle, and of course, the homes. If you're looking for a slower pace, real community, and the chance to build a new life in Europe without breaking your bank account, this is for you. Let's get started. Let me take you to Carunchio, a hilltop town in the province of Chieti, where every corner looks like it belongs in a painting. This medieval village has earned a place on the list of Italy's most beautiful borghi, and it's not hard to see why. Think winding cobblestone lanes, sweeping mountain views, and a silence you can almost hear. The main church, San Giovanni Battista, stands proudly above the rooftops, while the historic Castello Marchesale watches over the valley below. But Carunchio isn't just for postcard moments. It's also a great base for hiking, cycling, and exploring the lesser-known corners of Italy. The climate is typical of central Italy's interior mountain areas. Winters are crisp and occasionally snowy, while summers are warm but rarely oppressive thanks to the altitude. It's a place that invites all-season living, cozy by the fireplace in winter, open window dinners in summer. Now about real estate. The average price per square meter in this area floats around 500 to 600 euros. That's roughly 530 to 630 US dollars, or 450 to 540 British pounds. And now, the property that brought me here. A stone house with a garage and a view that I'm still thinking about. It's about 115 square meters of usable space, plus a 10 square meter garage at street level. From the moment I walked in, I knew this place was solid. The layout is smart and full of character. On the lowest floor, there's a spacious, light-filled kitchen with a fireplace, a full bathroom, and a large bedroom. Just below that, the first basement level has an exposed stone living room, original Cotto floors, wood-beam ceilings, and a second fireplace. There's also a small guest toilet tucked away. Climb the stone staircase and you'll reach the loft. currently a home office and guest nook. With panoramic views of the rolling hills that surround the village, all utilities are connected, including a central heating system, and the house is turnkey. The price? Just 45,000 euros, which is about 48,000 US dollars or 38,000 British pounds. Brusnengo might not be on every travel guide's front page, and that's exactly what makes it worth discovering. Nestled in the province of Biella in northern Piedmont, this town is surrounded by rolling hills, vineyards, and alpine views that change color with the seasons. It's the kind of place where the rhythm of life slows down just enough for you to breathe. Beyond the scenery, Brusnengo has a quiet pride in its traditions. The Santuario della Brugarola, just outside the town, is a place of peace and panoramic views. And nearby, you can find trails for hiking or biking that link one small village to another, like a chain of hidden pearls. Food in Brusnengo is hearty, local, and completely satisfying. The climate here is continental, but softened by elevation. Warm summers, cool autumns, and crisp winters. You get all 4 seasons in their full expression, which makes it a great place if you like variety without extremes. From a real estate perspective, Brusnengo is an opportunity. You're still within reach of Milan, just over 35 kilometers from Malpensa Airport, but the average property prices here are far below the Italian average, sitting around 500 euros to 700 euros per square meter, depending on condition and location. And speaking of value, I found a completely renovated, move-in-ready apartment right in the town center. It's 70 square meters of clean, comfortable living space, featuring a spacious living room with a full kitchen setup, 2 bedrooms, a bathroom, and a private cellar in the basement. The windows are all new with double glazing. And there's independent heating with natural gas radiators, though the boiler needs to be installed. There's also the possibility to add a garage, which is great if you plan to live here long-term. Everything you need is right outside your door. The nearest bus stop is just 230 meters away. You're also within reach of a hospital, ski resort, and even the Ligurian coast, which is only 135 kilometers away. The price? Just 39,000 euros, which is about 41,800 US dollars or 33,700 British pounds. There's something magnetic about Bagnone, a small village tucked away in Tuscany's lesser-known Lunigiana region, where winding cobblestone alleys lead you past waterfalls, medieval bridges, and a 15th-century castle that still towers above the rooftops. It's the kind of place where locals gather in the piazza every evening, and the rhythm of daily life feels both calm and deeply rooted. Located just 3 kilometers from the historic town center, the surrounding hills are green and quiet, yet the village itself is alive with good food, lively conversation, and a sense of belonging. You'll find grocery shops, cafes, and even family-run trattorias, all within walking distance. And if you're someone who values connection to both nature and community, Bagnone strikes that rare balance. Tuscany is already famous for its food, but Lunigiana adds its own twist. Here, the specialties include testaroli, a kind of handmade pasta cooked on a hot stone and often served with pesto. You'll also find panagacci, crispy flatbreads paired with local cheeses and cold cuts, and wild mushroom risottos in the fall. Everything is seasonal, rustic, and unforgettable. Now, what about the climate? You get a soft, temperate atmosphere here. Warm summers, cool winters, and just enough snow in the colder months to feel magical without being inconvenient. It's also important to note, the average property price in this part of Tuscany remains surprisingly accessible, hovering around 800 euros to 1,000 euros per square meter, depending on exact location and condition. I found a small but inviting home here that really speaks to what Bagnone has to offer. It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom house, spread over 3 levels, and it measures about 40 square meters of usable space. On the ground floor, there's a traditional vaulted cellar, perfect for storing wine or converting into something special. The first floor features a cozy living room with a fireplace, a kitchen, and an internal staircase. Upstairs, there are 2 bedrooms and a bathroom with a shower. The heating is already in place, powered by natural gas, which keeps it efficient year-round. You're just over 30 minutes from the coast, 10 minutes from a ski resort, and only 1 hour and a half from Parma Airport. The price? Just 30,000 euros. That's 32,100 US dollars, or around 25,800 British pounds. If you're looking for the kind of village where time feels like it's been paused, In the best way possible, Castelbottaccio in the Molise region deserves a closer look. With just over 200 residents, this hillside hamlet sits quietly between rolling green landscapes and distant mountain silhouettes. It's only about 36 kilometers from Campobasso, the regional capital, and 45 from the Adriatic coast and the beaches of Termoli. From here, you can head to the sea, the mountains, or just sit on your terrace watching the light change across the valley. Despite its size, Castelbottaccio has its own kind of richness. You'll find an 18th century church with frescoes that rival those in far more famous towns, and narrow alleyways that feel like a film set, but without the crowds. It's the sort of place where neighbors chat over coffee in the square and doors are still left unlocked. The climate is mild for most of the year, with hot summers cooled by the hill breeze and crisp, cozy winters. You get 4 seasons without the extremes. And considering this is southern central Italy, the value is surprising. Property prices hover around €500 to €700 per square meter, depending on condition and layout. And speaking of real homes, let me show you one that I think says a lot about the potential of this village. It's a 2-bedroom house on 4 levels, with a total of 130 square meters. There are 2 fireplaces, multiple access points with small outdoor areas, and even an attic that could be turned into guest space or used for storage. Every room has views of the village or the green hills beyond. There's a working heating system, mains gas, electricity, and water. The property is about 33 kilometers from the sea, under 13 from the nearest train station, and just over 78 kilometers from Molise Airport in Foggia. There's even a ski resort less than 40 kilometers away if winter sports are your thing. And here's the deal. The price is just €25,000. That's 26,800 US dollars or 21,500 British pounds. That's the full price for a full house in a peaceful Italian village with mountain views, space, and total charm. Let me take you to a quiet corner of northern Italy that very few people outside the country even know exists. Valduggia in the province of Vercelli. Tucked into the lower Valsesia region, this small mountain town sits in a privileged position, surrounded by nature and within arm's reach of everything you could possibly want. We're talking just 20 minutes from Lake Orta, 30 from the stunning shores of Lake Maggiore, and about 1 hour and a half to Milan. That means top-tier cultural events, transport hubs, and even Switzerland are easily accessible. But you still get to enjoy peaceful days in the mountains. For anyone craving the kind of setting that doesn't scream tourist Italy, this place delivers. To hilltop viewpoints and timeless rural charm, Valduggia offers a glimpse into the kind of Italian lifestyle that hasn't changed much in decades. It's that slower rhythm that so many of us are searching for. The climate here is continental, with warm summers and cold winters, perfect if you like distinct seasons. Snow is common in the colder months, especially being so close to ski stations. The nearest one is only about 11 kilometers away. That gives you the rare chance to ski by day and sip wine by the fireplace at night. When it comes to real estate, prices in this part of Italy are still well below the European average. In Valduggia, you're looking at an average price per square meter of around €600 to €800, depending on the condition and location of the home. That's significantly less than what you'd find even in nearby Lake Orta towns, and worlds apart from what you'd pay in Milan or Florence. To give you a real example, this is the kind of deal that would turn heads in any market. I found a historic home with 6 bedrooms in a panoramic, sunny, and peaceful location, surrounded by mountains, yet just a short drive from everything. The property is 341 square meters, spread over 4 levels, and includes a private courtyard and a spacious garage. It's less than 35 kilometers from Malpensa Airport, under 13 kilometers from the highway, and less than 5 from the Borgosiscia train station. Now, here's the part that still blows my mind. The asking price is just €24,000. That's 25,700 US dollars or 20,600 British pounds. For a house of this size, with this location, that's almost unheard of. And yes, the price is still negotiable. This is the kind of opportunity you don't find by browsing headlines or scrolling big real estate sites. Before we wrap up, let me leave you with 3 powerful reasons why Italy keeps coming up as one of the top places to relocate. First, there's the balance between quality of life and affordability. You don't have to compromise. In many of these towns, you can buy a charming home, live comfortably, and still have enough left over to enjoy the good things, like weekend trips, fresh food, and a little dolce vita. Second, Italy makes integration possible. Whether you're coming here alone, as a couple, or with your family, the communities are warm, local services are strong, and the infrastructure is solid. You're not starting from zero here. You're joining something that already works. And third, this is a country with future value. The properties we've seen today are not just inexpensive, they have potential. As more foreigners move in and remote work continues to grow, we're already seeing increased demand in these regions. That means you're not just buying a home, you're making a smart investment. Now, in terms of personal benefits, I'd say 1. Space and freedom. You're not boxed into city life unless you choose to be. 2. A slower rhythm. Less stress, more meaning. And 3. Access to everything that makes Europe amazing. Culture, travel, food, nature. But without the overwhelming price tag. If you're curious about any of the properties I showed today, you'll find all the links and contact info down below in the description. You can also check out other videos on my channel, Expat Home Opportunities, where I share real estate listings, neighborhood guides, and honest insights from the ground to help you make informed decisions. And of course, if you found this video helpful, hit subscribe. That way, you'll be the first to know when I post new listings or uncover hidden gems that could change your life. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next town.